Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, YASHAMIAHLA, double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone who taught me his truth, and salutations to the elect scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. My name is Amon Gabar, back with another lesson, Lord willing to edify and to feed the lambs of Yahweh YASHAMIAHLA through the Holy Spirit. Lord willing is edifying, straight to the point. Now, in the news recently, you have as headline here, major meat producer JBS USA hit by cyber attack allegedly. All right, and there's some articles here that I got pulled up on this headline, and hey, through the spirit of Yahweh YASHAMIAHLA, I just got done watching a few recent videos Apostle Tahar has uploaded, particularly speaking on inflation and hyperinflation. All right, inflation and hyperinflation, and hey, the Lord is picking this place apart, man. Whether it's these elites, which we believe it is, which we know it is, because the scriptures say in Revelation, the 12th chapter and the 12th verse, that the devil's gonna come down with great wrath because that he have a short time. Now, if the devil knows time is short, then that means he got to make moves, and the moves he's making is really Yahweh YASHAMIAHLA controlling him to do so. All right, so that's why, through the spirit, we believe all these things are all world stage events taking place, control oppositions, even, all of this stuff, man. And here it is. You got so-called cyber attacks happening, attacking major things such as the pipeline weeks ago. The gas prices started going up because people were hoarding gasoline, going up, filling up all types of plastic bags and whatever you can think of. People started panic buying, which also led to the shortages of gasoline, and then now recently you got this, another cyber attack on a major, all right, if not the largest meat producing distributor or company here in the United States. So a few headlines says from the New York Times, ransomware disrupts meat plants in latest attack on critical U.S. business. CNN, what the JBS cyber attacks mean for the meat supply? The Wall Street Journal, meat supplies tighten as cyber attack on JBS snarls food chain. And hey, with all of that, man, whoever's watching news, because I heard this on the news this morning. Also, people are going to go out there and start panic buying, start panic buying, which is going to lead to food shortages in your local supermarkets. And on top of all of this being said, going back to the videos Apostle Tahar been putting up, hyperinflation, inflation, all right? Esau wants to pump, and what happened last year was a perfect reason for him to start pumping trillions upon trillions of dollars, all right, U.S. dollars, Federal Reserve note, into the economy, all right, into the pockets of people, coming to financial aid and all this other stuff. So with all that money being printed, is devaluing the dollar, all right? So, like we know, when these food prices start going up, it's because the value of the dollar is going down. But now they like killing two birds with one stone, because not only is the value of the dollar going down, the supply of food is becoming scarce. So it's going to be worse than regular inflation, hyperinflation. All right, because the food ain't going to be there and the money ain't going to mean shit. So that's total control. That's order out of chaos. All right? While people think because stores are opening up, they're getting they so-called little freedom back, which they never had freedom. But the illusion of freedom, they think they're getting it back. And now they could go out. And when the people go out with it, what do they normally do? They go out and buy food. Now, if these big restaurants, medium restaurants, or small restaurants are getting hit by, the shortages from these supply chains, guess what? They're going to have to put more money. The supply chain is going to raise the prices on their things. And then these businesses are going to have to buy it at the price that they're asking. And when it comes to the stores, they're going to have to raise the menu, raise the prices on the menu. All right? And then people are gonna have to spend that money. They're gonna say, the prices is going up, which the prices are going up, and at the same time the dollar's going down. So it's like a double-edged sword. It's like a double-edged sword, man. And let me see. I'm gonna read one of these things. It says, "What does JBS cyber attack mean for meat supply?" And of course, they're blaming it on Russia. It says, "Some shoppers may want to brace themselves for yet another possible supply crunch, this time with meat. Major beef and pork producer JBS USA suffered a cyber attack, so they say allegedly, last weekend, prompting reported shutdowns at company plants in North America and Australia. The White House has said that the ransomware attack was likely carried out by a Russia-based criminal organization, and that it is dealing with the Russian government on that matter. The Australian government has said that the U.S. law enforcement is taking the lead on investigating the attacks. So far, some authorities and trade groups have assured that operation will be back to normal as soon as possible, allaying concerns of major disruptions. But experts warn that it will depend on how quickly the issue is taken care of." So they're letting you know right out in front of their face that something is coming. All right, why? Because they want it to come. All right, order out of chaos, order ABK, order out of chaos. That's their motto, order out of chaos. So they putting it in front of your face, letting people know that brace yourself, and they already got who they gonna blame it on. All right, Esau gonna think, well, these elites, these so-called elites, self-proclaimed elites, all right, these Edomites, they are the one orchestrating this thing, and then they already set up who's to blame. They're gonna blame this on the you know what as of last year, all right, and blame it on these cyber attacks. They're gonna blame everything on, what really took place last year, and say, this is the reason why we're gonna have to do this, and people gonna fall right in line. All right. So another thing I did, right, like I was speaking with one of the bros, Quanawath, earlier, because he had sent me a video from Epic Economist as well. I was watching that and I was reading through the comments or whatever, but it led me to do this, right? How long to count to a trillion? Because as we know, we in a time where these devils they ain't pumping billions anymore. Like during the Obama administration, there was pumping billions of dollars of stimulus or whatever. Now they took it to trillions. Now, how long to count to a trillion? It says 31.7 thousand years. So it says, but how long to get to 1 trillion? So if you used to count to 1 trillion, all right, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, seconds to try to make it to a trillion, it would never happen. It would never happen. All right? It would never happen. So it says, but how long to get to 1 trillion? And I bring this in reference to the dollar. Show you how much they really print. It says $1 trillion. A trillion is 1,000 billion. So you need to be counting for 31,700 years. All right? 31.7 thousand years to count to $1 trillion. $1 per second would take 31,688 years. All right? That's extremely, a lot. That's a lot. All right? That is a lot. All right? 31,688 years to count to 1 trillion. Okay? You can't even do that in a lifetime. Matter of fact, to count to a billion, right? If somebody was to try to count to a billion, it says 1 billion seconds is a bit over 31 and 1/2 years. So 31.5 years. All right? So to count to 2 billion, for a person to count to 2 billion, it would take 62 years, which is a whole lifespan of a person normally, just about. All right? It would take 62 years to count to 2 billion. All right? 2 billion seconds. And that's just to illustrate how much money that they pumping out here. And people don't even realize that's a extraordinary amount of money. Because here it is, Biden is talking about $6 trillion. All right, $6 trillion plan or whatever to pump into the economy, infrastructure. You know, and they talking about another fourth stimulus. You know, there's rumors about that. You know, so this place is done. This place is absolutely finished. All right, which lead me to the scripture right here. In Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. And Esau does that. Esau increased that which is not his. Everything he got by ill-gotten gain. He stole it. All right, whether it's land, whether it's money. And when I say money, I'm talking about gold and silver. All right, oil, resources, and even people. All right, every single thing you can possibly think of. If Esau, when I say Esau, I'm talking about the elites. If they got in their possession, they stole it. 100%. It says, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. All right, cover himself with thick clay. Now, we always go into this word. You go into it, it's ibayat. And it means weight of pledges or heavy debts. All right, heavy debt. So what we see happening right now is heavy debt, because what's happening is that the government, you know, is what they do is borrow money, as we all know. You know, I'm preaching to the choir, of course, but the government, U.S. government, you know, banks, smaller banks, bigger banks, all take or borrow money from the Federal Reserve note, or the Federal Reserve Bank, I should say, all right, which the elites own. Okay, the elites own that, the Federal Reserve. So now you would ask, who's America in debt to, or who people are in debt to, who the bank's in debt to, who, you know, is the Federal Reserve or the elites. Okay, because they're the one that run these banks. All right, the central banks. All right, and show you that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Who's the wicked? Esau, Edom. You know, like Apostle Ram, I was watching his live earlier too. He made that statement about the number one language that people got to speak is English. That's the main language that everybody got to learn how to speak. And I thought about the same thing, like as far as the money. The dollar is the world reserve currency. All right, and who runs the dollar? The Edomites. Okay, so if that's what people are spending and speaking, then that's who's in power. They spending a dollar and speaking in English. So who's in power? Esau, Edom. All right, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, so Esau is going to make it to where people are going to be in debt. All right, the government, the states, the smaller banks, everything is going to be in debt to the central bank. They're going to come in with a new reset to forgive debts. But it's going to come with a tag, a price tag, or a price, which is going to be that you know what. All right, that you know what, that's that capital CHIP. All right. Yeah, you know, you got to speak in, you know, codes, and I'm saying because devil, you know, he's cornered. All right, he's cornered by the Holy Spirit, and he's on the defense. Okay. So that was that. Let's see, stimulus check. I was looking this up earlier. You know, and they want to push. They want to put all this money out there. They want not money, all this. They want to put the currency out there. All right, they're in desperate need to try to bring forth this NWO. So they want to do all of this. You know what I'm saying? They want to do all of this. Okay, it's part of the agenda. They desperately need to do so. All right, in the back of their minds. You know, so let's see. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 1. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria, which are code names for America. All right. It says, gird up yourselves with cloth of sacks of hair, and bewail your children, and be sorry for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you. Who may turn it back? So the destruction is sent. Who's going to turn it back? It's not going to be turned back. Everything that's happening from, you know, here on out, it ain't turning back. It's going to lead to one event and then to the next event, and it's going to get worse. It's going to escalate. It says, a fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? All right, so the Lord is sending these plagues upon his place, and there's none that can turn it back. I'm going to jump down to 14. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. All right. Now, Yahweh YASHAMIAHLA is picking this place apart, man. You know, as we always say, the Lord's picking this place apart. And it's all evident. It's all in the news. You turn the news on. See, the thing about the news is that people watch the news and they just follow like mindless zombies. But we watch the news, mainly these alternative news, the so-called real news, so to speak, that don't sugarcoat things, and we line it up with prophecies. And even if it is fluff news, there's still some truth to it. You know what I'm saying? They putting it out there in plain sight to this day. You know, depending on what they're talking about. All right, because we see right through it. All right, through the spirit of Yahweh YASHAMIAHLA, we see right through it. This is 2 Ezra 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, save the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, which the incredulity, the unbelief, all right, and the imaginations, because some of the imagination, we could go even higher, is what these devils got prepared to try to come up against us with, all right, in these last days. Fear not the imagination against us, because guess what? Yahweh YASHAMIAHLA is in control of everything and every person. So the Lord control the thoughts of these elites, like the scriptures say, the heart of the kings is in the hand of the Lord, in the book of Proverbs. All right, or the king's heart is in the hands of the Lord, roughly paraphrasing. And he controls them. He turneth them whithersoever he will. So let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. You know, people speak up against us and come up against us with their unbelief. That's fine. Let them do so, because at the end of the day, prophecies will not fail. All right. And if you're speaking prophecies, then what you're saying ain't going to fail, because it's prophecy and it's of the Lord. So, you know, you stand on what the Lord said, then you stand on a strong and solid foundation. So when these things happen, you're going to be good. You know, like the scriptures say, Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. All right. And the times are approaching when wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability. When everybody losing their mind because a gallon of Poland spring water is $16, $16.99, $17.99, $18.99, $35, or whatever, people are going to be losing their mind. It's going to be chaotic. All right. So like I said earlier, man, these devils is they inflating that money. They pumping that money. You know, everything is in a bubble right now. You know, everything is in a damn bubble, but bubbles eventually burst, especially when you keep on inflating it and adding air and adding air and adding air. It's just going to bust. All right. So these devils are doing that. And at the same time, they're trying to cripple, or they are crippling certain supply chains. All right. Look at lumber. You know, look at lumber, wood, certain hardware for homes and all that stuff. It went up in price. It went up in price. For one, they were told to shut down and stop manufacturing this and that and this. So now it's a thing of a supply and demand, as well as the looming inflation in the background. All right, so the Lord is dismantling this place on all angles, at every angle. He's picking this place apart, man. All right, he's picking this place apart. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. All right, so the Lord is sending that famine. All right, don't forget the farmers being told to shut down. Farmers last year were told to throw out all their stuff, potatoes, milk, you know, eggs. All right. It's going to be an interesting summer, to say the least. All right. Now I could continue to read on. Let me jump around a little bit. Verse 11 says, but I will bring them with, let me read up. Behold my people, verse 10. Behold my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, which is talking about America. All right. Egypt is synonymous with bondage. All right. That's what us being in ancient Egypt was known for, mainly us being in bondage under the Egyptians. So modern day Egypt is America. All right, Revelation, the book of Revelation 11 and 8. All right, it says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm. And that's how the Lord is going to deliver his elect. All right, his chosen. And that mighty and stretched out arm symbolizes his power, his strength, which is going to be when the Lord come back with them ships, all right? So-called UFOs, the chariots of the Most High. It says, and smite Egypt with plagues as before. That's how we know it's not talking about ancient Egypt, because once ancient Egypt was smitten and we was out of that land, that was it. That was it. Egypt was just a thing of the past at that point. All right? So you're going to smite Egypt with plagues as before, as again, New Egypt, Babylon the Great, and will destroy all the land thereof. So the whole land of Egypt, America, is going to be destroyed. Egypt today, over there at the north part of Africa, is still there. It's not destroyed. But the Lord is going to destroy all the land thereof here, America, Babylon. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plagues and the punishment that the Lord shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail and with fearful consolation. So who tilled the ground? The farmers tilled the ground. All right, and their seeds are failing, all right, because of the plagues that the Lord is sending upon it, just like over there now in Australia. Mice plague, now the snake plague. Now, don't be surprised whatever eats snakes start coming out. And whatever eats snakes, their predators start coming out. And it's just a whole ill situation out there, you know. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hand. Gun violence, all right? Gun violence, okay? Why? Because of the scripture is going to tell you why more down. But that's the point we're going to get to. When people realize that, you know, it's too late, things ain't ever going to be normal, you know, or go back to the fake sense of normality that they once held. You know, they weren't preparing, they weren't spiritually preparing, or even on a carnal level, wasn't carnally preparing. Those are gonna be the ones out there gonna be losing their mind first. All right, and that's what Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble. All right, Jacob's trouble. It says, for there should be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the courses of the action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. So, sedition among men, all right, and invading one another is going to be mutiny, all right, uprising against the governments because of, you know, high food prices, worthless dollars, high taxations, whatever everything that's going to come is going to cause these people to say, to hell with the government, we're going to do what we got to do to get by. A man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able, because the military is going to come in, all right, and they're going to be on guard. They're going to be, you know, setting up garrisons at those checkpoints, at those bridges, tolls, tunnels, borders, wherever. Okay, it says, a man shall desire to go to the city and shall not be able, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Because of the pride of this place, all right? Babylon the Great and the inhabitants thereof, okay? Because of the pride, there's going to be all types of hell and calamity happening in this place. People going to be afraid. Men going to be afraid. Like in Jeremiah 30, it says, see if a man do travail like a woman, why he see everybody with their loins, with their hand on their loins like a woman and being, you know, giving birth. Men are going to be done out here, man. All right, all these so-called high-value men, as the world will call them, are going to be out here looking valueless, with no value, all right, overlooked, you know, crying in pain, can't eat, you know. You can have a nice 3-piece suit and some fancy cologne, you know, with a nice cut, but what good is that, you know, with your 6 figures or 7-figure, you know, nice house and car, but what good is that if you can't eat? What good is that if you ain't got the knowledge, wisdom, understanding to sustain you in that time? All right. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, so for the lack of bread, food shortage, All right, people gonna be invading each other's houses with the sword, with the gun, spoiling their goods, taking their stuff, looking for things of value, food, water, canned goods, tuna fish, peanut butter and jelly, you know, milk powder, anything they could find that can sustain their bellies. They gonna go for it. All right, it's gonna be great tribulation, man. This ain't happened yet, and we approaching that time. All right, we approaching this time, and it's clear to see, it's clear as day that's why these you know, behind the scenes, they're doing what they're doing, which behind the scenes, Yahweh Shah is doing what he's doing. And we thank the Heavenly Father for that. You know, we give all praises to Yahweh Shah for that. And we have the eye salve to see what's going on. You know? Hey, man, all praises to Yahweh Shah. That's pretty much all I wanted to say, man. You know? Look out for this right here. JBS cyber attack hits cattle. Let me see this with this Fox, bullshit Fox. But let me see what it say. JBS cyber attack hits cattle futures, sparks food fairs. You know, and that's what they want. Order out of chaos. So whether it really happened or it didn't happen, they want to put that out there because they, you know, for the fulfillment of prophecy's sake, regardless if it's real, constructed, fake, controlled opposition, whatever. All right, all these things got to happen regardless, and the Lord is using Esau as his sword, as the hammer of the earth to fulfill his judgment. So it got to happen. It's gonna happen. All right, and that's prophecy. So, you know, that's all I pretty much wanted to say, man, real quick. You know, Lord willing, that was edifying, straight to the point, news updates and stuff. You know what I mean? So let's keep an eye out. Lord willing, till next time, I say shalom to the elect. Shalom.